ഞാനിതിവിടെ ഉപേക്ഷിക്കാണ് എന്നേക്കുമായി.
വീരഭദ്ര, നീ എന്റെ അച്ഛനാവാൻ നോക്കരുത്. ആനപ്പാറയിലാന പനിനീര് തെളിക്കണോ സാമ്പാർ വിളമ്പണോന്ന് ഞാനാ തീരുമാനിക്കുന്നത്.
ഞാനേ ഇച്ചിരി ഉണ്ണിയപ്പവും കുഴലപ്പവും ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയായിരുന്നു. കൊണ്ട് അങ്ങോട്ട് വരാമെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ അവിടെ പത്രാസുകാരൊക്കെ വന്നിരിക്കുമല്ലയോ. വേലിക്ക കൊണ്ടുവന്നാ നീ തിന്നുപടിയേ.
So I have a theory. I believe in Malayalam cinema, female characters and by extension actresses are sort of disappearing out of the food chain.
I kind of agree.
The reason why I was having this thought, everyone says like Malayalam cinema is so far ahead, so progressive. But then what got me thinking was Anaswara Rajan. Dude, she's been in a lot of recent movies. And honestly, she's a good actress. After a very long time, I think in Malayalam, we got an actress who can handle different emotions and different strides of acting very well. She was really good in Rekha Chitram also, like this very fresh, upcoming girl with a lot of dreams. But then I also liked her in Guruvayur Ambalanadale, this very funny, quirky girl. Same with Vesana Samedam, Bandhu Mitradigal. Again, she had a very funny.
Excellent in that.
Yeah. Even in Super Sharanya, actually that's like one of my favorite movies. In that also I liked her. She is scared, she is shy, but at the same time she's also firm in her own little ways. Anyways, what got me thinking was, aside from her, honestly I don't see a lot of actresses who are consistently working like that. See, some time ago I would say Nimisha, Sajayan, Annaben.
Oh, Annaben has disappeared.
I don't know what happened, like ആ ഒരു കുമ്പളങ്ങി നൈറ്റ്സ്, ഹെലൻ, സേറ, കപ്പേല, ഇങ്ങനെ കുറേ സിനിമകൾ ഇങ്ങനെ അടുപ്പിച്ചടുപ്പിച്ച് കുറെ വന്നു. ആൻഡ് ദെൻ സഡൻലി ഷീ ജസ്റ്റ് vanished.
Dude, one actress I genuinely miss. She had like a really good run as an actress. Like, she's not doing much movies as of now, is Nazriya. She's a fantastic actress. I loved her in Om Shanti Oshana.
Yeah, in which all movies she appeared, she was good.
She could carry the movie.
When she came back in Sukshma Darshini also, she was good. So of late, actresses are like almost disappearing out of Malayalam cinema. What I noticed is, ഒരുപാട് പുതിയ actresses ഇങ്ങനെ വരും. They'll do like 1, maybe 2 movies, maybe 3 if they're lucky, and then they all just vanish. And I'm like, that got me thinking to another point, which is female characters are not being almost written at all.
At least memorable ones.
Yeah, again, which got me thinking about this was Thodarum. Honestly, my god, they got Shobana. They did nothing for her. They didn't give her any good scenes. Onnuilla. She's just there for these few scenes. Dude, it was so sad to see her relegated to just filler scenes there and here, and that's it.
For me, like, the only memorable roles I remember from last 2 years is Mamita in Premalu and Nazriya and Sushma Darshini. എനിക്ക് വേറെ ആരെ അത്ര മെമ്മറബിൾ ആയിട്ട് അത്ര which will stay with me like for a long time, anganathe characters, like especially in the last, I think from 2020 to 2026, I don't know if there's been any memorable character, like very handful of memorable characters like that have come on Malayalam cinema. Yeah,
I would personally add all the 4 actresses from Super Sharanya. I still go back and watch that movie just for them. Actually, I really like the dynamics they had. I would even count Ned, that movie she did with Mohanlal, Jittu Joseph's movie.
That was pretty good. I miss the kind of roles I have grown up watching. We have so many actresses, from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. I don't think those kind of roles are being written right now.
Honestly, how I feel is, everyone says, right, how those decades were like very regressive. Those regressive era actresses had more acting and work to do than the current crop of actresses.
Also, the roles written for them were also pretty good. Be it like a complex character or an out and out negative or an out and out pavam nice girl, they had something to do. They added value.
Yeah, it was also unfortunate that when Loka was being promoted, they had to keep banging this point like, oh, the first female superhero movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get that point, but at the same time, I'm like, if that is your sales pitch, is Malayalam cinema then actually that ahead?
I liked the movie overall, but again, I didn't find Kalyani's character as memorable as those two movies that I mentioned.
FYI, just like how Shobana's presence in Todarum annoyed me, it is kind of the same how I felt for Naslin in Loka also. His character had no impact on the storyline.
I feel they added him because they want one character who wants to see her as a normal human being.
He wasn't a driving force in that
Yeah,
plot.
that even I agree.
If you remove Shobana out of Todaram, if you remove Naslin out of Loka, pretty much the story is going to go the same way.
Yeah, there's not going to be any change, I agree.
Now you keep this on one side, then you compare it. The so-called 80s, right? 80s Malayalam movie. We had Shobana, we had Suhasini, we had Seema, Ambiga.
Urvashi, Geeta,
Even the senior actors, like at that time, Kaviyur Ponnamma, Sukumari, Philomina,
KPAC Lalitha,
they were also there taking care of this.
supporting roles.
They were doing so much work also. The scripts were written like that also.
Also, they were not just working in Malayalam, they were working across South.
Yeah. Then you come to 90s again, Urvashi, Shobana, Parvati,
Samyukta Verma, Annie.
Divya Oni is there. Again, same Sukumari, KPAC Lalitha, Kaviyur Ponnamma, Philomina, they are also there. Kalpana is there, who is handling the humor thing. They are all having like enough of things to do, enough of roles are being written, scripts are there, movies are there. They're working across. Same goes with now you come to 2000s. Right? Meera Jasmine, Kavya Madhavan, Manju Warrior, Navya Nair, Bhavana. I feel like they were given those characters. Then a lot of these characters were so memorable also. Honestly, you pick any Srinivasan movies, the female characters are always memorable. And also they are not of one shade also. Urvashi in Ponmuttai Edannu Tharavu or Talyana Mandaram, she's that very petty, you can't even say negative shade, they're very petty, they're small world, and in that small world they need to do big things, that sort of characters. Same then goes with, say Chinda Vishtaya Shamla. Then you go to Satyanandikad movies again.
Yeah, Shobana in Satyanandikad movies.
Yeah, or Shobana in Priyadarshan movies. I think probably if you look at it, Manichitra Tharis, even though people like to say yes, it was Mohanlal movie, Shobana ran the show. Let's face the fact, she took that movie and she ran with it completely. Because movies were written, I feel like, keeping in mind of these actresses. The most important thing what I have felt, most of these characters they played, they were all like relatable characters. They were characters you could see around you. That relatability factor is so high. That is one of the reasons why I like Girish AD also. In his movie, his female characters are like that. They're very simple, regular, everyday sort of girls and women you see around you.
I mean, for me, Devasuram, the movie's catalyst is Revathy because she is the one who stands up to him and challenges him, and that leads to like a transition. That whole transition starts from her standing up to him. Devasuram is nothing without Revathy. But Kilukam is Revathy's like her character story because it is she who's come to find out who her father is, what's her history.
That is missing in current movies. Like my question is this, I am not so much a big supporter of adding female characters as tokens because that is extremely patronizing. Look, I understand one or two movies not having female characters, okay, that's fine, yeah, but honestly, if you look, majority of the movies which are coming out in Malayalam, they don't have female characters, let alone memorable female characters. Then the few which are left, they seem to come off as a bit preachy.
I don't want to be told that my gender is going through struggle because I know we are going through struggle. Okay, maybe show it in a way that don't spoon feed me about the struggle. It's like almost like mansplaining it to me. But maybe put it in a way that I will feel relatable.
Do you think when they spoon feed it or when they say it verbatim, does it come off as condescending?
Of course it does.
Preachy sort of, characters are being written. Just write regular female characters. Just make them relatable. Let them go through the struggle of whatever that character struggle is. We don't have a cluster of actresses constantly working in Malayalam. Lot of actresses are coming in. But sadly, their shelf life is like one movie, maybe two, and then they're gone.
So a female character stands out for me, even across decades. Sheila's character in Manasinakkare. I have not come across a movie that talks about aging an elderly actor, that the way her character was written with so much sensitivity and so much love, and how Satyan Nikad also wrote about Sheila's friendship with KPAC Lalitha. Oru age kazhinjittu friendship, it was so beautifully written, and I genuinely miss characters like that. When I saw Manasinakkare, I remember thinking only Malayalam cinema can do characters like this, like giving a center stage to an elderly actor like Sheila.
Ultimately, what I feel is this: if you don't write movies with good, memorable, relatable female characters, tomorrow if bunch of people just stand up and start saying like, hey, look, Malayalam cinema is like a boys club, girls are not allowed, I'm sorry, you'll have to agree to that. You might have to agree, okay, because a huge chunk of your movies don't have women in that. Then maybe there is a point. With that being said, Anjali Menon in 2024, she tweeted, right, that where are all the women in cinema? You know, she put Manuel Boys and Avesham. Honestly, I felt that was a bit performative, and it's a bit of a stretch, slightly opportunistic, because when movies were failing left, right and center just the previous year, 2023, I didn't see, like anyone running up and taking the responsibility for that. What I'm saying is, to conclude, is
please write memorable female characters. We need it.
yeah, not just memorable, also it should be relatable. Okay, I feel like we're desperately missing this now.
Let's end this segment with your favorite female characters.
One disclaimer is this: we are not absolving the regressive themes that happened in Malayalam cinemas in 80s, 90s. That shouldn't be the takeaway from this. What we were merely trying to say is this: even in those regressive times, those actresses had more work and they had consistent work, and because of which we have a list of actresses to put out
who did a lot of meaty roles.
I feel honestly we don't have that in this current decade. Okay, we are 6 years into this decade. Imagine how depressing it is that this list is just Anaswara and Nikhila Vimal. At best you can put Nimisha and Annaben. Like seriously, just 4? Come on. My most memorable female characters for me, almost a lot of Kalpana's movies wherever she is there, right? I don't know why her on-screen presence and her chemistry with Innocent or Jagadi, dude, she was in par with them. Like she kept up and she magnificently handled it.
85 രൂപ കൊടുത്ത് ഞാൻ വാങ്ങിച്ച കോംപ്ലാനാണ് ഇങ്ങനെ അഡ്രസ് ഇല്ലാത്ത കത്ത് പോലെ കിടക്കുന്ന സാമദ്രോഹി. I am a Complan girl.
I absolutely love. This is one tiny movie from the early 90s. I watched this on Asianet. The movie is called Stridhanam, and that has Urvashi as this girl from a poor family, and she gets married. And the mother-in-law, the amount of torture and pain that she puts Urvashi through in that movie just because she didn't bring enough dowries. And Urvashi just nailed that role so beautifully. My God, I felt for her. I wanted to rescue her and tell her that just leave that house and just.
സ്ത്രീധനമാക്കി തരാൻ അച്ഛനില്ല. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ വീട്ടിൽ ചെന്ന് ശാന്തേട്ടനൊരു വക്കീൽ നോട്ടീസ് അയക്കണം വിവാഹമോചനത്തിന്.
And what I love about that movie is like it had like a social messaging, but they didn't get preachy. Every character was so beautifully written. There is Urvashi in the helm, and then there is Meena, Jagdish, as her, husband, who is very understanding, but he's not able to control his, mother or ask her to keep her mouth shut. And then there is Baiju as this nice brother-in-law. And Stridhanam is one movie that showcased Urvashi's power as an actress. You look at her in Ponmuttedna Taravu or Talayana Mandiram, you can't believe it's like one actor and such range.
ആരും ബഹളം വെക്കണ്ട.
സത്യം എന്താന്ന് വെച്ചാ പറമോളെ.
നീ പറയുന്നു മാത്രമേ ഞങ്ങൾ നാട്ടുകാർ വിശ്വസിക്കൂ.
എനിക്ക് ഇവിടെ ആരും ഒന്നും ദാനം തന്നിട്ടില്ല. ആ പേരും പറഞ്ഞ് ആരും ഇങ്ങോട്ട് വരും വേണ്ട.
For me, this is based off on your reference. Bindu Panikar in Sri Krishna Prithvi.
I love that movie so much. I have watched and laughed so much.
ചേട്ടാ സത്യം പറ, എന്നെ ഇപ്പൊ കണ്ട ഒരു പ്രോസ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ടീവ് ലുക്കില്ലേ?
ഞാൻ ഇന്ദുവിനോട്ട് വാങ്ങിയതാ.
എന്റെ ലൈഫ് ബ്രോയിലർ ആയി ദൈവമേ.
I also liked Shobana in Thenmavan Kumbathu. She was actually funny. She was very beautiful, charming.
അമ്മാവൻ കാശൊന്നും വാങ്ങിയില്ല.
താനല്ലേ പറഞ്ഞ അമ്മാവൻ കാശ് വാങ്ങിച്ചത്? പിന്നെ ഇയാളാരാ?
ഇത് എന്റെ അമ്മാവനാ.
പിന്നെ അമ്മാവൻ കാശ് വാങ്ങിച്ചില്ലെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു.
അമ്മാവൻ കാശ് വാങ്ങിന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത് ശരിയാ.
I would even say Chinda Vishtaya Shamla, Sangeeta, her partner who is supposed to be that support system for her, to be there, he just ups and vanishes, right? She's not salty about, she's not looking at it from that perspective of gender, and no, she's like, hey, you're my life partner, you should have been here, you up and vanished. So yeah, you know, piss off.
I'll take care of my family however I can.
Yeah, please, you just go. Right? She's not being very petty about it. Also, she's not playing into that cliche
Victim, like not nothing like that. She's like, okay, I need to survive. At least for the kids, I need to survive.
ഞാനും മക്കളൊന്നും ആ ലോകത്തില്ലേ?
നിങ്ങൾ ഈ ലോകത്തല്ലേ?
അപ്പൊ വിജയേട്ടൻ പരലോകത്താ?
അത് മരിക്കുമ്പോഴല്ലേ?
മരിക്കും.
നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും മരിക്കും.
ആ മരണമല്ല, പട്ടിണി മരണം.
Then I don't know, for some reason, dude, Philomina, whichever movie she plays,
Godfather.
Godfather, do you know those kind of characters? Dude, imagine Philomina's that screen
Yeah.
presence. എന്താണ് ഈ മേയ്ക്കാന്ന് പറയും, മേച്ചോണ്ട് നടക്കുക, ലൈക് 3-4 ഖടാഖടിയന്മാരായ മക്കളെ ഇങ്ങനെ മേച്ചോണ്ട് നടക്കും.
And she's able to control them.
Dude, ആനപ്പാറ അച്ചമ്മ is
Iconic.
like again, same thing, right? Godfather, as much as you want to say Anyora Mudalali, you have to say Anapara Chamma.
There's no Anyuran without Anapara Achama.
നിങ്ങളുടെ അവിടുത്തെ അഞ്ഞൂറാനാണ്. നിങ്ങളുടെ മകൻ വന്ന് കണ്ടില്ലേ താലി കെട്ടാൻ? കൊല്ലടാ അവനെ, കൊല്ല.
The oldest rule of writing a story, a hero is only as good as the villain they get, and she, dude, epitomized it. Nazriya in Bangalore days, Om Shanti Oshana, Neram, one actress. She was part of two of my favorite rom-coms, Nitya Menon in OK Kanmani and 100 Days of Love. I don't know, I just feel 100 Days of Love is sort of a very underrated rom-com movie, and also the problem, it released almost around the same time of OK Kanmani, and it had the same pairing, Dulquer Salman and Nitya Menon, and I felt like all the attention went to OK Kanmani, even her role in Ustad Hotel. I just feel like if you stop writing such roles, characters, if you stop writing stories like that, the whole actresses and by that extension female characters will go extinct, and with that you're going to miss out a lot of good actresses. And then if anyone starts complaining like, oh, Malayalam actresses are going to Tamil and Telugu, yeah, because they don't have anything over here to do, so they will go. And if you want to complain that, oh, over there they're being eye candy and all that, my counter argument is, well, at least they're getting to do that over there. Not the most ideal situation, but at least bare minimum they're getting some work over there. Over here you're not getting anything.
There's one actress we missed is Meera Jasmine. She has done good quality of work, and a lot of her movies were pretty not just popular, like she was known for being able to carry the movie. Chindamma, Urvashi and Meera Jasmine. I mean, it's one of my favorite. That's another Sajayan movie. I think people should watch, because how beautifully that story is written about a mother and a daughter and their relationship. Fun story, my dad met Satyanandikad at an international film festival which happens in Goa every year, and my dad just literally held his hand and he said, I loved Achu Indiamma so much. And then even he was so like, thank you sir, thank you so much sir. And my dad literally held his hand and said it's such a beautiful movie, my dad told him. And I remember seeing that in front of me, so yeah.